Hi everyone, Bitchy Waiter here, and welcome to episode 3 of Dear Bitchy Waiter. This is my attempt at a web series where I answer questions that people send in to me, and they're usually looking for advice regarding the food and beverage industry. Of course, I'll answer anything because I have no shame, but I'm trying to just stick to food and beverage. If you have a question that you would like to send it to me at sideofmustard@gmail.com. I'm going to try to put it right here when I say this. Let's see, I'm really bad at this, but sideofmustard@gmail.com. Did it happen? I doubt it. Anyway, send me your questions and maybe I'll answer them. So before I go any further, I have to thank you for watching and also ask that you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bitchy Waiter. Why? Because why not? I'm a desperate, needy attention whore. That's the best reason of all. So let's see what questions we have in the old mailbag today. The first one comes from someone named Pearl. It says this: Dear Bitchy Waiter, how am I supposed to handle a situation where a child is going full nuclear and another customer complains? Well, this is a difficult situation, and I actually answered this question several years ago when I appeared on the Dr. Phil show.
So, what do if another person's child is throwing a tantrum next to you? Alright, here are the results. Only 23% would confront the parents, 37% would complain to the server, 29% would ask to be moved, and 11% would just ignore it. So a quarter of you, 1 in 4 of you, would confront the parent. You're the waiter, what would you do? If somebody came, if you were one of the ones where they came to the waiter and said, would you go deal with this, what would you say?
Okay, I write about this all the time on my blog, thebitchywaiter.com. And most of the people said they would ask the server to interfere. That's not my job to go to another table and deal with somebody else's issue. It
kind of is.
No, because then I become responsible for the restaurant, and I'm supposed to be making these decisions on the restaurant's behalf, and these are the same people that don't want us to ban children. So, but it is okay for me to make a decision that this particular child should go. No, you have to deal with the parents.
Yeah. So I told Dr. Phil then that when someone complains about a screaming child, then they expect us to go to that table and tell that parent to control their child. All that's going to do is fuck up our tip, and I am not for fucking up the tips. So I always feel like it's the person who is upset about it, it's their responsibility to complain to the parents, or a manager. I mean, of course, get a manager involved, but if we do it, all that it's going to do is upset the customer, and then they're not going to want to tip us, because chances are, if the screaming child is right next to our table, then that table is also ours, right? So they're just going to stiff us if we tell them, hey, you're a shitty parent, can you take your kid outside? So I would suggest that if a customer complains about a screaming child, show empathy, and then say to the customer something like this: I completely agree with you, but unfortunately, I'm not in the situation to complain, but you are. And see if that works. Because, hey, we're not babysitters, we're food servers, right? And yes, I know it is our responsibility to give a great customer experience at their restaurant, but I'm not going to go to a parent and tell them that they don't know how to handle their child, because I don't want the fallout from that. And by fallout, I mean no tip. So tell the customer they have to handle that, or go to a manager, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. We don't get paid enough to deal with that. We work for tips. Let the manager deal with customer interaction. So move on, screaming baby. Get the fuck out of there. Anyway, thanks, Pearl. Thanks for the question. I hope that helps. I probably wrote something about that in my book recently. Well, my book is 2 years old, but you can buy it. Amazon.com, The Bitchy Waiter. Buy it. It's hilarious. The second question today comes from Molly, and she says, Dear Bitchy Waiter, I'm about to become a server at my restaurant, and I was wondering if there are any tips about how to increase tips or make sure things run smoother. Well, that's a loaded question, because there are so many things we can do to make sure that we get great tips, but the number one thing you have to do is accept responsibility. If you make a mistake, just own up to it. Don't try to blame someone else. Don't say that the printer in the kitchen got screwed up or somebody else made a mistake. Just say it was your fault. Even if it's not your fault, just say it's your fault, because really, we are the face that the customer is dealing with. So we're the only ones that they want to care about. So if you just admit that you made a mistake or take the responsibility for it, hopefully the customer is going to see your honesty and reward you with a big fat tip. Other ways to make things run smoother. Well, I say this in almost every time someone asks me for advice about working in the restaurant. I always say, don't get stressed out. Don't let them see you sweat, because if they see that you're stressing out, they're going to think that you're not a good server and that you can't handle it. So just stay calm, stay chill, do whatever you have to do to make that happen. If you can have a sip of the cocktail, even better. But we are actors when we work in the food and beverage industry. So you have to act like you have everything under control. If you accept full responsibility for your section and any mistakes that are made, and make sure that you are acting cool and calm, like you have everything under control, I'm pretty sure you will see some pretty decent tips. And I know it's cheesy as hell, but sadly, we have to smile. I know, a smile does not make food come out better or us fill their water up more often, but sadly, that is what customers expect. One of these bitches. So, do whatever you have to do, put a smile on your face, and get out there and serve those tables. Good luck, Molly. I'm sure you'll do great. And send me another message when you have waited tables for a couple of weeks and let me know how it's going. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm trying to keep these short and brief. So if you have a question, again, send it to sideofmustard@gmail.com, and maybe your question will show up on this really fabulous web series. I mean, this is great, right? It's totally not. It's totally lame, and you can see my budget is non-existent. So again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter @BitchyWaiter, and let's see what we can find out, because I'm always looking for questions, suggestions, comments, compliments, insults. Really, if you give me attention, I'm gonna take it. Have a great day, everybody, and tip your server.